Hey, welcome. Today, we're diving into a huge misconception, this idea that to be a great networker, you have to be an extrovert. We're going to completely dismantle that myth and show you the hidden superpower that introverts have, especially when it comes to connecting with some of the most influential people out there.
So let's just start with this. This is a quote from Raymond Chin, a super successful entrepreneur known for his incredible network. Hearing him say he's an introvert, it feels like a contradiction, right? It just goes against everything we think we know about who gets ahead. And that, right there, is exactly the point.
So that brings us right to our first big idea, what we call the introvert myth. We're going to break down why we have this deep-seated belief that your personality type somehow decides whether or not you can build powerful relationships.
Let's just ask the question straight up. If you identify as an introvert, does that mean you're starting at a disadvantage? Is real success in networking just off the table for you? For a lot of people, this isn't just a question. It's a real fear that holds them back.
Yeah, the image we all have of a master networker is that person who can just work a room, telling incredible stories, charming everyone they meet. And we instantly think, oh, they must be an extrovert. But what if that whole idea is just wrong? What if the real thing stopping you has nothing to do with being an introvert?
Okay, let's get right to the heart of this. The problem isn't your personality. It's something we often mistake for it. We have to pull apart two totally different things: how you manage your energy and what you're afraid of.
And this is the real culprit, social anxiety. That nervous feeling, your heart pounding before you speak, the fear of saying the wrong thing when you meet someone new. The most important thing to know is that this is not an introvert trait. Extroverts get social anxiety too. It's all about fear, not personality.
And this analogy just explains it perfectly. Being an introvert is simply about how you manage your energy. Think about it like a phone battery. You wake up with a full charge, and every social interaction you have drains it a little bit. Extroverts, they're more like solar panels. They might start the day low, but they actually get more energy by being around other people. See? It's not about skill or confidence, it's just a different internal battery system.
So the good news is social anxiety, that fear, is something you can actually overcome. It is not a life sentence. The solution is pretty simple, even if it isn't always easy. You just have to practice. You have to put yourself in situations that feel a little uncomfortable, start small, and just keep doing it until that fear starts to fade and confidence takes its place.
Okay, so now that we've cleared away the real barrier, something pretty amazing gets revealed. Let's talk about the introvert's secret weapon, a natural advantage that is so incredibly powerful when it comes to networking: reflective listening.
Now, what's really interesting here is the difference between these levels. Honestly, most of us, most of the time, are stuck at level 2. We're listening to someone, sure, but we're really just waiting for our turn to talk, figuring out what we're going to say next. Level 3, reflective listening, is a completely different game. It's when you listen only to understand, and then you ask questions to help the other person go even deeper. And this is exactly where introverts have a natural advantage. Extroverts are often fantastic communicators, but they're also usually thinking about what they want to contribute next. Introverts, on the other hand, are naturally wired to quietly take in information. Their first instinct usually isn't to jump in with their own story, but to ask a question to learn more. And that is the heart of reflective listening.
You know, this gets at a really profound human truth, one that was captured perfectly in Dale Carnegie's classic book. More than almost anything else, people just want to feel heard and understood. And when you give someone that gift, you build a connection that is immediate and incredibly strong.
And look, this isn't just some nice, feel-good idea. It has real, measurable results. I mean, check out this statistic. Almost 3/4 of people say they work harder when they feel like their boss is truly listening to them. When people feel heard, it creates trust, motivation, and loyalty. That's powerful stuff.
So, the big question is, how do we use this superpower in those really high-stakes situations? This is where we connect reflective listening directly to networking with experienced, wealthy, and powerful people.
Just think about it for a second. These highly successful individuals have spent their entire lives gathering knowledge, overcoming challenges, and building stories. They've been pitched thousands of times. What they almost never get is someone who genuinely just wants to listen to their journey, to understand the lessons they learned. They're often natural mentors, just looking for a curious student. And this is what that looks like. You're not there to impress them. You're there to give them a stage. You ask questions that help them clarify their own thoughts, like, so what you're saying is, the real key was, or simple things like, that's fascinating, what happened next? You're not just passively listening, you are actively helping them tell their own story, and that makes them feel absolutely brilliant and deeply understood.
All right, let's pull all of this together. I'm going to give you a simple, practical, 3-step plan to unlock this ability starting right now.
Here you go. First, actually learn the skills of communication. Second, start tackling that social anxiety with deliberate practice. Start small and work your way up. And third, be strategic. Because you know your energy is a battery, schedule those really important meetings, the ones with influential people, for the morning or early afternoon when you know you're at 100%. And that brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway from all of this. Please stop confusing "I'm an introvert" with "I can't network." The first one is just about how your energy works. The second one is about a lack of skill, and a skill is something anyone can learn.
So the myth is officially busted. Your natural tendency to listen deeply isn't a weakness. It's probably the most powerful networking tool you have. So the only question left is, now that you know about it, when are you going to start using it?